So when we talk about biodiversity, we talk about distribution of animals and plants in different parts of the world. Among animals, mollusks are one of the largest group of animals, that is after Arthropoda. It is second largest group of animals in the entire animal kingdom. Mollusks are characterized with the presence of hard shell. Majority of mollusks, they possess hard shell covering their soft body, because mollusca means soft-bodied animals. An study of mollusca is referred as malacology, and their shell types, particularly their shapes and structures, if that is being considered, then that forms the study called conchology. So a study of mollusk shell is referred as conchology. And these animals are found in marine conditions or marine water, and also in fresh water. Few are terrestrial also, but they prefer to live in moist, shady areas. See, some of the mollusks are shown in this diagram. The first one is Pila, and very common species which is found in Indian subcontinent is Pila globosa, which is commonly called as apple snail. Helix is a marine gastropod animal. Limex is garden slug that is found in the moist areas of the garden, particularly during rainy season. It could be seen crawling very slowly on the ground. And Tentalium is a marine mollusk. Mytilus is a bivalve marine mollusk. Octopus is well known. It is a marine cephalopod. Unio is freshwater bivalve. Chiton, that possesses several shell plates on its dorsal side, is also a marine mollusk. So this diagram shows some of the commonly occurring mollusks. Now I would like to enumerate the important features of animals which belong to phylum Mollusca. See, these are soft-bodied animals, because mollusca means soft body. So they have mantle, or their integument is a very soft one, which is referred as mantle or pallium, that surrounds major part of the body. And because of this soft pallium, the pallium itself secretes hard shell around it, so that the soft body of animal could be protected. These animals are aquatic. Majority of them are aquatic, and they are marine. Some of them are freshwater also. Some animals are terrestrial. Those which have pulmonary sac are mainly lungs for respiratory purpose. They can survive on the land. But there are certain species which are amphibious in nature, like Pila globosa is amphibious in nature. It can live inside the water, drowned in the water, and also it can crawl over the ground. So it possesses both gills as well as pulmonary sac for respiratory purpose, because if it is equipped with both types of structure, only then it will be able to move on both conditions. So these are certain features, that they could be marine, freshwater as well as terrestrial. Then they have organ system grade of body organization. That is, in these animals you will have every organ in well developed form, like digestive system, respiratory system, blood circulatory system, nervous system, reproductive systems. These structures related to different physiological functions are well formed, so they have organ system grade of body organization. Then body is protected by calcareous shell. I just talked about this aspect, that in majority of cases the external shell may be present. In some cases the shell may be totally absent, like in case of Aplysia it is not there. In case of octopus, shell is absent. In some cases there may be internal hard calcareous support, like in our system we have a skeletal system that is internal in location. So in case of squids and in case of sepia, there is internal calcareous support. So internal shell is also found in some cases. Body unsegmented, bilaterally symmetrical, but because of torsion in gastropods, the bilateral symmetry may not be visible or may not be there in case of adults, but majority have bilaterally symmetrical body, and these animals are coelomate. They have coelomic cavity, and the coelomic cavity gets actually confined in the region like heart, excretory system, gonads. So those portions get surrounded with the cavity, and so it is a coelomate animal. Body consists of head, foot, mantle, and the visceral mass. In majority of cases, there will be a distinct head portion. Foot is a prominent structure, a locomotory structure, and mantle is the external covering. So these structures are there, and visceral mass means visceral organs, they get accumulated sometimes at a particular point or place, so they make the visceral hump in several animals. Head distincts bearing mouth, eyes and tentacles. So you can see the presence of mouth, which will be centrally located between tentacles. Eyes will be present in majority of mollusks, but will be totally absent in bivalve animals. So if head is there, we hope that the animal will have eyes also, but it is not a permanent feature for every mollusk. The foot is a muscular structure, and that is modified for creeping, burrowing and swimming, because mollusks, they are adapted to different mode of life. That is, they can crawl, they can creep, and they are very fast swimmer also. So that is why their food gets highly modified into different shapes, and they perform different functions also. The visceral mass forms dorsal hump that I just told you. The body cavity is reduced and represented mainly in the pericardial region, gonadal region and nephridial portion. The digestive system is complete, and it means that mouth leads into buccal cavity, that finally leads into oesophagus. Oesophagus will be connected with a sac-like structure, that is stomach, in which food will get stored, a radula, and then it will lead into intestine. So all such structures which are expected to be present in the digestive tract will be present in case of mollusks. That is why the digestive tract is considered to be complete. Radula is a masticating or rasping organ, and it is found in majority of mollusks to cut the food into small pieces. So this radula is found in majority of mollusks, except pelecypods, which are filter feeders, that is bivalve animals. They are filter feeder, so in their case radula is absent. Respiratory organs contain gills, which are also called as ctenidium or ctenidia, and those forms which are terrestrial, they have lung for respiration. Lung means that is also referred as pulmonary sac, which is internally vascular, and that will help in aerial mode of respiration. The circulatory system is open type. Open type means the blood vessels like arteries will lead into fine arteries called as arteriole. They will lead into lacunae or sinuses. So, and finally the sinuses will lead into venules and vein. It means the capillaries are lacking in major parts of the body. That is why it is referred as open type of blood vascular system. And heart contains auricles and ventricle. Their number could be varying. Then in case of mollusks, the blood looks blue in color. It is because of hemocyanin pigment in which copper is present. So its color, blood will be looking blue in color. And excretion would be occurring by renal organs, which are also called as metanephridia, or kidneys. Uh, the kidneys of mollusks are also called as organs of Bojanus, because Bojanus was the person who, for the first time, told that these structures are involved in filtering out the waste materials. So such organs are found, and the kidneys or renal organs may be connected with pericardial cavity, as well as that will be opening outside. So the waste contents are actually filtered by such structures. The nervous system consists of paired and unpaired ganglia located in the head portion, or in the visceral regions, or in the foot portions, and there are nerves which connect such ganglia, and those nerves are referred as commissures or connectives. Commissures are those nerves which connect similar kind of ganglia, and connectives connect those ganglia which are not similar in nature. And there could be several fine nerves originating from the ganglia, which will then be innervating to adjacent parts of the body. In case of mollusks, the sense organs consists of eyes, then statocyst or phradium. Osphradium could be one of the structures that helps in testing the chemical nature of the water, and then there are receptors which help in detecting about the touch, means they are touch receptors. They could help in detecting smell of the surrounding water and substances, and could also help in testing the chemical nature of the substance, which may be edible or non-edible. The sexes are usually separate, means these animals are dioecious, and some are monoecious. Monoecious means the testis and ovary, both reproductive structures will be present in the same animal. But majority animals are actually dioecious, that is, sexes are separate. There may not be distinct sexual dimorphism, but in some cases the distinct sexual dimorphism, that is, males and female differentiation, could be possible. Fertilization could be external as well as internal, means both kind of situations are there, but in majority cases it is internal in nature. And development may occur through larval stage. The larvae could be trochophore, it could be glochidium or velicer larva. And the entire mollusks are classified into 6 different classes, and this classification is actually based on the type of food they possess, the type of shell present in mollusk, mantle, gills, number of gills, the nervous system and its organization, and the presence or absence of radula. So these features, these specific characters are used to classify mollusks. If we consider the first class, the first one, that is Monoplacophora. Mono means single, placo means plate or shell, phora means bearing. Animals bearing single shell on their body are those which belong to Monoplacophora, and these animals are distinctly bilaterally symmetrical. The shell comprises a single piece or valve, head without eyes and tentacles, foot broad and flat. They possess 5 pairs of external gills and 6 pairs of nephridia. So because the gills and nephridia are found in pairs and they are segmentally arranged, so these animals are considered as connecting link between Annelida and Mollusca. But since Neopilina is one of the best examples of it, and it shows several molluscan features also, so it is classified under phylum Mollusca. It possesses radula in the radular sac, which is used as masticating organ, and the sexes are separate in these animals. So As I told you, these are primitive forms of mollusks because they show certain even annelid features. Second one is Amphineura, to which chiton belongs. Chiton is one of the well-known molluscan animal that possesses several plates, particularly 8 plates on its dorsal side. So sometimes people also consider this class as Polyplacophora. Now, body elongated with reduced head, and radula is present in these animals. Shell has 8 dorsal plates. Ventral foot large, flat and muscular, and fertilization external. Larval form is Trochophore. The third one, or third class, is Scaphopoda. These animals are exclusively marine. You will not find a single representative of it found in the freshwater. Body is bilaterally symmetrical, elongated, and enclosed in a tusk shell that opens at both ends. They don't possess head portion, mouth and tentacles are there, and no eyes are seen in these animals. Conical foot, the foot looks conical in shape. Radula is present in them, and they do not possess gills. The simple diffusion occurring through mantle that helps the animal to survive. Sexes are separate, and the development occurs through Trochophore larva. The examples are Dentalium. Dentalium is a an animal which whose structure resembles the tusk shell. It possesses tusk shell structure. Then the class 4 is Gastropoda. These animals are marine, freshwater, and some are terrestrial. As I told you, garden slug is one of them. Their body is asymmetrical. It is only because of torsion that occurs in the developmental period, when there is actually coiling of mantle and visceral structures. So because of that, they lose bilateral symmetry, and a single shell is present in all those forms which possess external shell. The head is distinct, bearing tentacles, eyes and mouth. Foot is ventral, broad and flat, with operculum. Operculum is a small calcareous structure which actually covers the opening of the shell. As I told you, torsion is one of the phenomenon that occurs in these animals, and this happens in such a way that the alimentary canal gets twisted 180 degree, and several nerves also get twisted and make eight-like structure. That phenomenon is referred as chiastoneury. So these are the aspects which one can know when one studies torsion in much detail. The body cavity contains radula, so this structure is quite prominent in gastropods. Sexes are separate, that is, these are dioecious animals, and the main examples are Pila, then Haliotis, Patella, Murex, Limex, that is garden slug, Helix. These are the common gastropods found in marine, freshwater or on the land. Class 5, that is Pelecypoda. This is also referred as bivalvia because animals of this class, they have two almost equal sized valves attached on the dorsal side with the help of hinge ligament. So these animals are aquatic, mostly marine. Some are freshwater. Body bilaterally symmetrical and laterally compressed. These are bivalved animals. So bivalve shell means two shells are there, hinged at the mid-dorsal position. Head is not distinct in them. The foot is ventral and plough-shaped. That is why the term Pelecypoda. Then mantle is bilobed. That is, right and left mantle lobes are there. We know that sometimes between shell and the lobes. If a foreign particle comes, then the mantle portion starts secreting substance around that, and that takes the shape of pearl. So pearl oysters also belong to this particular class, and they are quite economically important. Gills or ctenidia are present in paired forms and located on either side of the foot. Sexes are separate or united. Development occurs through velicer or glochidium larval stage. The examples are Mytilus, Pecten, Austria, then Enodonta, Unio, Maya, Teredo. These are some of the commonly known bivalve mollusks. Then class 6 is Cephalopoda, and these animals are marine and free swimming. Body is bilaterally symmetrical. Bilateral symmetry could be seen in them, except in case of Nautilus, with head and trunk. Shell external, internal are absent. Head is distinct and large with well-developed eyes and mouth. Foot altered into arms or tentacles bearing suckers. Mouth bears jaws and radula. Sexes are separate, and its common examples are Nautilus, Sepia, Loligo, and octopus. So these are some of the commonly known cephalopod mollusks.